Hi guys, and welcome to this weekly horoscope for Monday the 26th of December going through until Sunday the 1st of January 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. And I'm filming this on the 25th of December, so happy holidays to everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful time. What I'm going to do in this weekly horoscope is I'm going to go through each day to see what relationships the planets form with one another. The point of that being trying to understand the energy that's created via the planets and how you can tap into some of the positives that they create and avoid some of the negatives so you have the best time possible. So the first thing that jumped out at me this week is that there's going to be a sense of formality when it comes to your relationships with institutions or companies or groups of people. And I would suggest immediately starting the week by deliberately keeping this focus that says, do you know what? It's not all life and death. It's not that serious. I do have other options. If something is stressing me out, let me just, cool it a little bit and look for alternative solutions. I do have time. Things aren't that urgent and it's okay to take a breath and to relax. So starting with Monday, the 26th, we've got the moon in Aquarius. So I did a video on the new moon recently, and I mentioned that the moon is what you need and the sun is what you want. The moon is kind of your feelings and the sun is what you're striving towards. And someone mentioned in the comments that that was a useful way of thinking about it. So I just wanted to repeat that here. So the moon is in Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. It's the water bearer, but it is in the element of air. And it has to do with learning, teaching, and being of service to humanity. It conjuncts Saturn in Aquarius, so that's where I think this sense of formality comes from, because you're thinking about things in a way that's very black and white. What is my contribution and the greater good? It really ups the ante quite a lot, and it puts a lot of expectation on you. So take a moment. The Aquarius moon also squares Uranus and Taurus, so that's interesting because that says, if there are things that are chaotic in my life or outside of my control, it is up to me to deal with those and have to do everything by myself. And that I don't think is very appropriate either, because it isolates you and it puts a lot of pressure on. So if there is something going on that is less than ideal, it doesn't need to be resolved immediately, especially if it's a bigger thing, like, you get a message from an employer or the tax people or anything like that. Talk to others about it. That's also going to soften this whole thing. Share your experiences, learn from other people's experiences. That's going to make it much easier for you to manage your circumstances in your life. So overall on Monday, it does start off quite formally, and the focus is going to be what needs to be resolved by the end of the year. And it puts this time limit on things, which could make you feel a little bit stressed. So just extend that deadline a little bit. Okay, if it's not resolved by the end of the year, I can also resolve it by the first week of January or the second week of January. It's very much about managing your expectation and taking the pressure off deliberately. So the main thing where that comes from, I feel, is communication between institutions in your life who may demand your attention in some way. Maintain this sense of ease and flexibility that you felt over Christmas. And again, try not to take things too seriously. It doesn't serve you in any way. So I'm not saying that, just shrug everything off and be flippant about things. I don't mean that. But the tendency is going to be that, this is like a matter of life and death here. And when you go into a situation with that kind of focus, it really just, obviously will stress you out. And it really, according to the planet, isn't that serious, and it's important to kind of insert that yourself. Tuesday, the 27th of December, we've got the moon going into Pisces at 8:34 in the morning. So that does soften things. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, which is very good at seeing the bigger picture and asking the big questions. And there's a sense of hindsight associated with Pisces because it is the last sign of the zodiac. So I've had all these experiences. I've been through difficult times in my life before. I've managed difficult before. So I'm able to relax a little bit. I can take my time, and I have a connection with the higher realms, which will support me. My intuition is guiding me, and I've got a good relationship with other people, so I can pool their experience to help me as such. So Tuesday is really much better to take action when it comes to, formal things that need to be completed, like legal things or contracts or applications for new jobs, because there's a sense of gentleness associated with those. The Pisces moon then squares Mars in Gemini. Mars is the planet of drive and ambition. In Gemini, it's very communicative, and connecting this with the Pisces moon means that your imagination is fired. And if you are a creative person, if you write or paint or perform, that will work very nicely, and it'll give you good ideas about things that are unrelated. And then the Pisces moon also squares the sun in Capricorn. The sun is really what you feel empowered by, and Capricorn is the sign of the worker. It likes to get things done. It likes to be self-sufficient. It likes to see things in a black and white way. So that combination is really helpful. Again, if you're being created, because Capricorn is an earth sign. So if you want to get your ideas across, if you want to express something that you feel and that you find important, you'll be able to find some sort of tangible home for those feelings. So abstract painting or creating a design that makes you feel a certain way. There's a connection between your output, your feelings, and capturing those in some sort of earthy format. So on Tuesday, it's really a better day to start the week as such. So if you can make Tuesday your Monday, that's great. Your imagination is fired. There's less pressure on you. And at the same time, you can be incredibly productive. So that's kind of like chicken or the egg. Am I being more productive because I feel calmer and less stressed? Or am I less stressed and more serene because I've got everything out of the way? Either way, the pressure is off, and I feel that if you can kind of time it this way, that important things are dealt with on Tuesday rather than Monday, you're going to have a better time of it. Flexing your creative muscles is likely to reveal solutions in areas that are completely unrelated. So if you're painting a still life, you may get an idea for travel plans. Or if you're dancing around your flat, if you're listening to music and you're just jumping around, that may give you a good idea about the future of your career. So they seem to have nothing to do with each other, but it's the creative process that brings up solutions for you. On Wednesday, the 28th of December, we've got the Pisces moon conjuncting Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the water planet of dreams and intuition. It rules the sign of Pisces. So with all this water energy now, the imagination gets even better. Your intuition is louder, it's clearer. You're able to interpret how you feel very easily. And that's the best way to navigate the day, I would say. The moon then also sextiles Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is the planet of the miraculous and the unexpected and things that are chaotic and outside of your control that can make you feel a little bit powerless at times. And in Taurus, it's, oh, my life is, what's happening here? I can't manage everything at the same time. I've got all these plates spinning. The best way to kind of find a sense of ease and again to navigate that is simply to listen to your gut. So by the time we get to Wednesday here, it's not so much about listening to other people or letting their experience guide you. It's about connecting with your higher self and finding the answers from within. And then the amazing thing that we've got is the Pisces moon. It sextiles Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and creativity, Mercury, the communication planet, and Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, the phoenix rising from the ashes, all of which are in Capricorn. So again, we've got an amazing combination of earth and water. Both of those are feminine elements, and it's about receiving. It's about, I am getting the answers. I am getting practical action steps that are just kind of popping into my head. You don't have to do very much except sit back, tune into your feeling, into your intuition, and let that guide you. So it's a very kind of go with the flow kind of vibe, which is much softer than what you were going through at the beginning of the week here, particularly on Monday. Venus in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces. That is a massive desire to work creatively, to look at your circumstances and to think about those creatively. So again, I can look at solutions, I can problem solve simply by kind of letting my mind wander, and that process is actually quite enjoyable. So with Venus being involved here, the focus on Wednesday moves towards your personal relationships, both new relationships and tying up loose ends in existing ones. If you find yourself making tough decisions though, Capricorn can be a little bit black and white. Like for instance, you say, okay, I've had enough of this person, I'm going to break up with them. I've had enough. I would say use the next couple of days when Mercury, the communication planet, goes retrograde. It goes retrograde on the 29th of December here, and it stays in retrograde until the 18th of January. Take the first few days of the Mercury retrograde to really contemplate any big life decisions, because that will give you even more access to kind of what's happened in the past. You're able to contemplate things and really land at a place of resolve and certainty. And that's always important, you know, like if you do make a big decision, like you start a new relationship or you end one or you quit a job or you start a new job, if you're 100% sure about that decision, it's much easier. If you're kind of still on the fence about it and then you break up with someone, for example, it's like, oh, should I really have done that? So you're always kind of then doubting yourself and second guessing yourself. And leaving big things like that for later on in the week is going to ensure that you do have that sense of certainty and that you're happy with your own decisions and that you don't have to waste your energy second guessing. Yeah. Thursday, the 29th of December, Mercury does go retrograde and it stays in retrograde until the 18th of January. So Mercury is a personal planet. It's responsible for your perspective on things, the way you see the world, the way you decide, the way you communicate and articulate things. When it's in retrograde, famously, it causes a few problems when it comes to communication in the 3D physical world, right? So it's like my email got lost or there's delays on travel plans. But it's also really useful because when Mercury appears to go backwards, it's kind of like I have a much clearer understanding of my inner world and what's going on for me, and certain things where I've been really busy that may have been incorrect. I now have the time and space, and it's kind of like the pressure is off to reflect on those and to see what went well, what didn't go well. So it's kind of a time of reflection and really getting to know yourself very well. So even though the outside world may seem to be more of a hassle, the inner world opens up and you understand yourself much better. And that's why I'm saying any big life decisions, leave it once this retrograde really gets going. On Thursday, the Pisces moon also sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. So your intuition, if you're looking to make changes in the next year, the Pisces moon connecting with Pluto is a fabulous energy that you can tap into, because your intuition will naturally guide you towards certain changes that will benefit you. And then something drastic happens. The moon goes into Aries at 11:36 in the morning. So now we're in the first sign of the zodiac. We're in the element of fire, and that really kind of motivates you and says, okay, I'm really psyched about these things that I've been hearing via my intuition. How can I implement those? How can I get going? Oh, that's not too loud. Sorry, I'm just pausing because I'm filming this on the 25th and I've tried to time it. Like the bells really go off at like 8 minutes to and 5 minutes to, at 5 past, at 8 minutes past. So I started at 20 past, but on this day they just go off all day, so excuse me. Maybe I can edit this out if it's too much. I mean, I can't really complain. I do live like behind a monastery. Another great decision on my part. Okay, I hope you can hear me. I think you can. On Thursday the 29th, the Aries moon conjuncts Jupiter, the lucky planet, and Chiron, both in Aries. So Jupiter, the lucky planet in Aries, is great because it says that when you take independent action, the good luck of Jupiter supports you in those. And Chiron in Aries is very much about, if I take an action, I want it to be kind of healing in my life. I want it to make me feel stronger and more focused on myself. And I want to have better results based on my own actions. The Aries moon then squares the sun in Capricorn, and it sextiles Mars in Gemini. So that's amazing for work, for getting things organized and planned, for understanding yourself. and also realizing then how you can take action steps based on your ideas. It's very practical, it's very grounded. Mercury in Capricorn conjuncts Venus in Capricorn. So Mercury is in retrograde now, right? And the conjunction with Venus, they sit together and they blend their energies together. Venus is the planet of creativity and love and beauty. I like to work, but in this case, I would say I like to work on myself, understand myself, and then I want to take steps in future to make my life more of a cushion for myself. I want to work on my circumstances being more comfortable. So on Thursday the 29th, with the communication planet appearing to move backward, you're able to understand not just yourself, but the past, and to get a clear picture on patterns that appear in your life and that you haven't resolved yet. So, I don't know, a tendency to be overly demanding in relationships, or to be overly critical, or not having enough critical acumen, whatever it may be. So, I mentioned the real world delays with, luggage being lost at the airport, things like that. Your inner world is kind of laid out in front of you. And if there are any kind of personal patterns in your life that you don't enjoy so much, or that you want to do something about, you'll be able to resolve those for yourself and identify them first and foremost, and say, do you know what, in the next year, I'm not going to engage with that kind of behavior anymore. I'm just not going to do it. So combining this great sense of self with future plans will reveal interesting new options in your work and any ideas regarding your life purpose. On Friday the 30th, we have the Aries moon conjuncting Chiron in Aries. It squares Mercury in Capricorn and sextiles in Aquarius. And sextiles Saturn in Aquarius, rather. So you're really fired up, you're ready to go. You're willing to work on yourself, but you're also willing to connect with other people and to be kind of taught and mentored. So you're very open-minded and you're very willing to learn on Friday. The Sun in Capricorn quincunxes Mars in Gemini, so that's really still a great opportunity to be creative and to get your ideas kind of permanently stored in some sort of format, like, I don't know, painting or putting a mural on a wall. There's a sense of permanence to your creative ideas, and there may be even a desire to capture your feelings and ideas in something that is permanent. So, on this day, I feel a certain way about my life, my relationships. It may be a good idea to tape myself talking about them so I can look back on it. It's that kind of desire to kind of leave a record of what's going on for you. So it's a fabulous opportunity to get all the relevant information in order for future plans. Research, learning, education, and being mentored are all good things to pursue. And you're able to finish your homework as such before rushing off into action. Again, though, on Friday, some institution you're connected with may appear as somewhat harsh and could put a demand on your attention and your energy. So if that comes up, same thing as at the beginning of the week, try not to take it too seriously. The stakes aren't that high. On Saturday the 31st, so New Year's Eve, we have the Aries moon forming a square with Mercury, Venus, and Pluto in Capricorn. All of those personal planets and Pluto being in Capricorn allows you to understand yourself, what you want to be working on, gives you creative ability, and it aligns you with change and saying change is actually welcome. I enjoy change. I want to move forward with different things in my life. The moon then enters Taurus at 8 minutes past 6 in the evening. So that is much more comfortable. So the weekend here is very much about enjoying the finer things in life, or even the things that make you feel warm and comfortable. Venus in Capricorn conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Change is a good thing. I can get creative with it. I enjoy change. So Saturday is a much more straightforward day where life seems to be making sense and solutions come easily. It's a wonderful day to travel, to spend time with friends, or to commune with nature. Reading symbols and getting answers via your environment, and even things like tarot cards or billboards or runes, however you get your messages, that's very much supported. The billboard thing always comes up because I watched a film, I think in the 90s, called LA Story, and Steve Martin has this billboard that talks to him, and that made a big impression on me. I get messages when I'm walking around, like if I'm thinking about something and then I look in a window and there's some sort of an object, I always take that as a message because I'm an Earth sign, I'm a Virgo. Finally, Sunday the 1st of January, the first day of the new year, the Taurus moon conjunct Uranus in Taurus. So you're very aligned with change and you're very flexible. So kind of the opposite to Monday, really. So big decisions and having to deal with institutions, I would leave till later in the week. The Taurus moon also trines the sun in Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn, and Mercury in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces. So we've got all earth and a little bit of water here. So my ideas are crystal clear. I want to take action. I want to make real plans. I want to move on with my life. I want to move ahead. So the first day of the new year sees you massively tapped into those two elements, earth and water, and you're able to plan genuinely useful action steps that are required to manifest your hopes and dreams in the new year. And it's a wonderful day to start implementing those new ideas. So as far as the first day of the year is concerned, it's perfect because you know exactly where you're at, how you feel, and what you can do about that. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with here in the last week of 2022. I hope you have a wonderful time. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use astrology, the tarot, and numerology. By looking at all those divination systems, I can really see a lot of detail about you, what's coming up in future, strengths, weaknesses. I can look at specific topics that you may be interested in, like your finances or relationships, spiritual development, friendships, career, anything at all. So if you would like a personal reading with me, please do get in touch via my website. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up, please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing week, and I'll speak to you daily for the daily tarot readings, obviously. And I'll be back next week with the new weekly horoscope. So have a great time, and I'll speak to you soon.